Welcome back once again. Please like and subscribe to my channel. So today I'm gonna show you a uniquely wonderful game played between Garry Kasparov and the world in 1999. At that time, Garry Kasparov was the reigning world champion. Uh, in this game, Kasparov faced over 50,000 people from more than 75 countries. This game lasted over 4 months. Uh, every move for the world team was decided upon a plurality vote. So let's check this game out. Here Kasparov has the white pieces and he opens with e4. We have c5, the Sicilian defense. Knight to f3, d6, and now bishop b5 check. Although Kasparov used to play d4, but now he preferred to play bishop b5 check. We have bishop d7, bishop into d7 check, queen into d7 as theory. We have c4. We have knight to c6, knight c3, now knight to f6. We have castles, g6, d4, c into d4, knight into d4, bishop g7, and now the knight simply goes back, knight d2, e2. And here the world team decided to go for an interesting option. They played queen to e6. And now, already as of move 10, we have a completely new game on the board. So, as you can see, the queen is even attacking the c4 pawn and the knight is even attacking the e4 pawn. So, knight d5 was played by Kasparov. Knight c7 check is a very strong threat. Here, the world team played queen into e4. They are willing to sacrifice their exchange or grab 2 pawns. Knight c7 check, king d7, and now knight into a8. Here we have queen into c4 as the knight isn't running anywhere. And here Kasparov plays a desperado move, knight b6 check. He wants to give a knight in order to make the black pawns doubled. We have a into b6, now knight c3. And here there was a lot of conflict between b5, e6, d5, knight e4, and rook a8. It was rook a8 was played in the game. We have a4. Now stopping the threats of b5. Have knight e4, trying to exchange the knights, knight into e4, queen into e4, and now queen b3, attacking the b6 pawn as well as the f7 pawn. Here we have f5, and now you don't want to take the with queen into b6 because of knight d4. And now your queen has nowhere to go as of now because after queen b4 then simply knight e2 check is coming. So queen into b6 was not played in the game. Instead, Kasparov played bishop g5. And now you can't play h6 because rook a1 and white activates his rook. And now the queen has to move, and then queen e6 check, and it's almost game over. So instead, queen b4 was played. Here after queen into b4, knight into b4, black is clearly better, so this was not played in the game. We have queen to f7 by Kasparov. And here we have bishop e5. And here Kasparov can't take queen into h7 because of rook h8. And now once the queen moves, bishop into h2 check is a strong windmill. We have h3. Kasparov of course doesn't fall for it. We have rook into a4, rook into a4. Now a series of exchanges take place. We have queen into a4, queen into h7, bishop into b2, queen into g6, and now queen e4. The world team defends this f5 pawn. Here we have queen f7, and now bishop d4 was played in the game. And now queen b3, the queen goes back. It's already a complex position on the board. We have f4, and now the queen goes back to attack this f4 pawn by bishop to e5, and now h4. b5 was played. We have h5, queen c4, and now queen to f5 check. If queen into c4, then simply after b into c4, black has a lot of passed pawns and white is in serious danger. Queen f5 check was played, and now queen e6. And now Kasparov accepts the exchange of the queens. We have queen into e6 check, as now the pawns are still doubled. King into e6 and now g3. And now f into g3 was played. We have f into g3, and now if bishop into g3, then simply h6, and when the bishop goes back, h7. The pawn is far more advanced. So the world team went for b4. We have bishop f4, and now of course bishop d4 check, gaining a tempo. If king h1, and now b3. We have g4, and now b5 was the way to go. And after g5, king f7, bishop e5 check, king g8. Black can still try to hold this, but king d5 was played in the game, and now g5 was played. If e6, as the knight has to go back to e7 to defend. If h6, knight to e7. The world team spots a juicy square for the knight on g6. If rook d1, and now e5. Bishop e3, and now king c4 to remove the pin. We have bishop into d4, e into d4, and now king g2. We have b2, king f3. Now it's a race of the kings. King c3, h7, knight g6, king e4. And now king c2 was played in the game. We have rook h1, and now d3. The world team creates another passed pawn. If king f5, and now b1 queen. Rook into b1, king into b1, and now king into g6. We have d2, h8 queen, d1 queen, and now queen to h7. As whenever the king moves, it will be a check. We have b5, the world team wants to push the pawns. King f6, and now king b2. Queen h2 check, king a1, and now queen f2 was the best move. And after queen d3, g6, something like queen c3 check, king f7, queen c4 check, king f8. White can still easily promote the pawn after saving some checks. But here queen f4 was played, and now if queen d5, then g6, b4, g7, something like this, b3, queen a4 check, king b2, and black can still hold this. But this was not played in the game. After queen f4, we have b4 in the game, and now queen into b4. The world team wanted to distract Kasparov's queen away from the king. And queen into b4, queen f3 check. If king g7, no checks now. d5, and now queen d4 check. King b1, and now g6. Again there are no checks. If queen e4, as if you trade the queens, then both the pawns will march to the queening squares, and it will be a draw. But Kasparov doesn't fall for it. He plays queen g1 check, king b2, queen f2 check, and now king c1, then king f6. Again you can see there are no checks. We have d4, and after g7, in this position, the world team decided to resign the game, as the pawn will become a queen. For example, if you try queen d5 to defend it, then simply queen g1 check, and white promotes to a queen. So a brilliant masterpiece by Kasparov. Hope you enjoyed it. Kasparov regarded this game as the greatest game of his chess career. He had not put so much effort in any other game. Goodbye.